What's good, everyone? Thank you for watching The Noted Gospel. My name is Isaiah. Today we're going to be talking about whether or not you believe in God, and I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you should. So before I started the channel, I sent out a brief 10-question survey to some of my followers on Instagram, and these questions revolved around God and the Christian faith. So for the next couple of videos, hopefully, with some minor exceptions, I'm going to talk about these questions. And the very first question on that survey was, do you believe in God? I got some yeses, some no's, some I don't knows. So today I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you should, why it's reasonable to believe in God. And these 3 reasons are: God is the best explanation for the creation of the universe, God is the best explanation for the design we see in life, and God is the best explanation for the best explanation for the objective moral values we have as humans. Alright, so reason number 1, God is the best explanation for the creation of the universe. And so the first question that poses is, was the universe created? And so I'm going to give you the Kalam cosmological argument, and it goes like this: whatever begins to exist has a cause. The universe began to exist, therefore the universe has a cause. So this is saying that the universe hasn't always existed. The universe isn't eternal. So just to support that, I'm going to give you one biblical example and one example from secular science. Genesis 1:1 says that in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. In other words, that the universe hasn't always existed, and that the reason that the universe does exist now is because God decided to create. Okay, so God is the cause as far as the Bible is concerned. Secular science, right? Stephen Hawking says the conclusion of this lecture is that the universe has not existed forever. Rather, the universe and time itself had a beginning in the Big Bang about 15 billion years ago. I just want to make a note: I'm not arguing for the Big Bang or against the Big Bang. I just want to point out that there is this point of intersection, right? And that point of intersection is that the universe hasn't always existed. I would like to point out that the Bible had already gotten this correct prior to modern day science. The Bible had already known that the universe hasn't always existed. We have pretty good reasons to believe that the universe hasn't always existed. So if we go back to our Kalam cosmological argument, right, if it began to exist, then it needs a cause. And so I would argue that that cause is God. So before the universe began, there was nothing. Right? Nothing is what rocks dream about. It's nothing. Now we have 2 scenarios. The theistic scenario is that someone created something out of nothing, and the atheistic scenario is nothing created something out of nothing. And I think that the theistic side, that the theistic view makes more sense, right? Someone created something out of nothing, and if this someone is all-powerful, i.e. God, then he has no problem creating something out of nothing. So before the universe began, there was nothing. There was no space, there was no time, there was no matter. So the cause has to be beyond nature, or supernature, or supernatural, right? i.e. God. So the question is God spaceless, timeless, and immaterial? Well, the Bible actually helps us in that. Psalm 90 verse 2 says that God is eternal. It says that from everlasting to everlasting you are God. In other words, God has always existed. There was no God before him, no God after him. God has always been God. I think I'm saying that weird. He's been God always. So God is not bound by time like we are bound by time. God is outside of time. He's always been. He's eternal. God is also immaterial, right? Our second scenario. Oh man, there's so much light. God is immaterial. He's not made from physical matter, okay? John 4:24 says that God is spirit. God is not made from the material that the universe is made out of. God is beyond material. He's not bound by it. And lastly, God is spaceless, right? Our third criteria. God is spaceless. He is beyond space. In Jeremiah 23:24, he's asking a rhetorical question. Do I not fill the heavens and the earth? In other words, God is not bound by space. He's not bound to one location at a time like we are. God is not contained by any sort of space because he is beyond space. So God is spaceless, timeless, and immaterial. We have good reasons to believe that God is a good reason to believe that He's the cause of the universe. I think I said too many words than I needed to there, but you get the point. Reason number 2, God is the best explanation for the design in the universe. Another way to think about this more clearly, right, more easy, is to think of a watch. Imagine that you find a watch in the middle of nowhere. We see that the watch has purpose, it gives time, and it's constructed with such precision. You would have to think that this watch came from a mind, that someone constructed it. So when we look at the universe and when we look at life here on Earth, we look at all the precision that life is composed of, and we can argue that this was designed by a designer. If there is a watch, there has to be a watchmaker. So if there is design, there has to be a designer. The question you can ask now, is there design in the universe? Is there design in life? I would argue, yeah, there is. Let's take, for example, plants. They take in carbon dioxide and they give out oxygen. As humans, we breathe in oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide. So it's pretty crazy. It's pretty far-fetched to believe that this life-giving process, right? This life-giving natural process, it's hard to believe that this came about randomly, that this came about by chance. It's harder to believe that than it is to believe that there was a mind behind this process that engineered and designed it this way, right? This process seems designed. It seems designed to help you and me breathe, to keep us alive, and it seems designed for us to help these plants do what they got to do, right? One more example for design, right? DNA is essentially like genetic information, right? It dictates everything about us, about every living thing. It's going to dictate how my eyes work, how tall I am, my hair color. That pretty much determines how you're going to be. Let's think about DNA like a computer program, and this program is developed by programmers, and it's very complex, it's very sophisticated, but the point is that every program, every bit of information needs a programmer. Every piece of information needs a mind that it comes from. So if we look at DNA is far more complex than any program ever written by a man. It's far more complex than the digital information used to make our phone work, our computers work. It's far more complex. And so if we have this natural genetic information found within each and every single living thing, I just think it's easier it's more reasonable to think that this genetic information came from a mind as opposed to it being produced spontaneously by chance, randomly, right? So I think it's reasonable to believe that the design that we see in life in the universe is attributed to a designer, and that designer is God. And lastly, we're just going to talk about morality. God is the best explanation for the objective morals we have as humans. And I'm going to give you the moral argument. If God doesn't exist, objective moral values and duties do not exist. Objective moral values and duties do exist, therefore God does exist. I'm in the sun again. Sorry. I don't have a studio, so I gotta do this where I can. So the question is, the question is there such thing as objective morality? Are there things that are always right despite what we think, and are there things that are always wrong despite what we think? Now I would answer yes. And to show this, I'm going to give you a moral question. If the answer to this is always yes no matter what, then we have objective morals, something that is always right and always wrong. So the question is this: is it wrong to torture a baby? And the answer would be yes. Is it always wrong to torture a baby? And the answer is yes. In no world, in no way is torturing a baby ever morally right. So if we have this one example of something being absolutely morally wrong, then we have objective morality. We have morality that is not determined by us humans, rather it's determined by something beyond us. You can argue, right, on the other side, if you're on the other side of this, you can argue that morality is relative, that we as a society determine what is best what's the best morally. Biblically, the issue with that is that we as humans are fallen creatures. We're sinful, we're wicked. Just to show that society isn't the best at setting standards, we can look at Nazi Germany. That was a society, and the standard they set of morality was that it's okay to kill these Jews. Killing Jews for them was okay. Now, if you want to be consistent in saying that morality is relative, then you have to agree with them. If they think that's right, then it's right for them. Well, that's pretty insane. Society can't set standards of morality because society is wicked. We're wicked people. And if society does set standards, if they want to get better, right? If they want to get morally better, there has to be something that's morally best. There has to be a goal. So what is the best? Well, God is the absolute moral best, right? God is that standard beyond us. Okay, so if objective morals didn't exist, every moral issue would become a matter of preference and opinion. Everything that seems wrong is just a matter of opinion. Rape would be a matter of opinion. Murder, child abuse, the Holocaust, that would all become a matter of opinion if God didn't exist, if morality was relative. But we know that all those things are absolutely wrong all the time. And God is the reason why those things are wrong, because God sets a standard for us humans to live by. Real quick, those three reasons one more time. God is the best explanation for the creation of the universe. God is the best explanation for the design that we see in life in the universe. And thirdly, God is the best explanation for the objective morality we have as humans. So guys, if you like this, if this was helpful, like, share, subscribe. I hope to see you in my other videos. I hope you join me on this journey as I seek to help you guys and grow myself.